Okay, let's dive right in. Picture this. You're in San Francisco, June 18th, 2025.
Right, at that AI startup school event.
Exactly. And Andrej Karpathy gets up on stage. He's the one, who also came up with the term vibe coding.
Yeah, that whole idea of tweaking prompts until the AI just sort of feels right. That intuitive thing.
Right, so he steps up and, well, he drops a bombshell. He says software's changing again.
A pretty bold statement, and his core message was prompts are the new programming language.
That's the heart of it. So today we're going to really unpack his talk, Software is Changing Again. We want to explore how these large language models, these LLMs, are shaking up software development.
And crucially, what it all means for you, whether you're, actually building stuff or just fascinated by where tech is headed.
Absolutely. So where does he start this story?
Well, what's really neat is how he connects the dots, like looking back over decades of programming. He lays out this clear evolution, starting with what he calls Software 1.0. That's the era of explicit code. Think C++ plus L, Python, where you write out every single instruction by hand.
Gotcha. Step-by-step logic.
Precisely. Then he moves to Software 2.0. This was all about neural networks, training models. The weights were the program, but it was kind of a black box.
Right. You trained it, but the inner workings, opaque. You couldn't easily read the code.
Exactly. And that brings us to now, Software 3.0.
And this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? He calls LLMs a new kind of programmable neural net.
Programmable. That's the key. It's not just a minor update. It feels like a whole new way of thinking about software.
It really does. It's like, instead of building a watch gear by gear, you just tell a master watchmaker, hey, make me a watch that does this. And the LLM, it's like that watchmaker. It gets your intent and figures out the complex stuff underneath.
That's a great analogy. It blurs the line between giving instructions and, well, the system just emerging with the solution.
Well, what's the practical difference then, day to day?
Well, traditional coding needed that super rigid structure, right? Explicit logic for everything. With LLMs, you give it minimal input, maybe just a prompt, and the model can reason, generate, even learn from that little bit.
Wow.
And Karpathy says this shift, it empowers people who aren't hardcore coders, non-technical founders, domain experts, creators. They can now collaborate with AI in ways we couldn't imagine before.
It really opens things up. It's democratizing, like you said.
It is.
So if prompts are the new code, what does that mean for actually building things? He talks about AI native principles, right?
Exactly. And that's not just like adding an AI feature onto an old system.
Okay, so what is it then?
It means using LLMs as core infrastructure, foundational, like building blocks right from the start.
So an example might be, instead of writing complex code to parse data,
you'd maybe prompt an LLM to pull out the info you need, trusting it to handle, messy inputs or variations. The focus shifts.
From explicit coding to prompt crafting and managing these AI components.
Yeah, crafting prompts and orchestrating these intelligent agents, as he calls them.
Orchestrating agents.
Yeah.
What did that look like? And I mean, isn't there a risk if you're just prompting, maybe it's harder to debug than explicit code?
That's a really important question, and it points to how development itself is changing. Orchestrating means designing systems where maybe multiple AIs or one LLM doing different tasks work together, like a team.
Okay, like specialists?
Kind of. One generates text, another summarizes, maybe a third checks facts. And yeah, traditional debugging changes. Karpathy suggests it's less about tracing specific code lines now.
And more about?
More about refining the intent you give the AI, refining the context. It's about prompt engineering, iterating really fast, and just leveraging what the LLM can do.
So the skill becomes learning how to prompt, well, how to orchestrate.
And how to iterate super fast. Those are the skills that'll define the next wave, he argues. It's really a call to adapt.
So wrapping this up a bit, Karpathy's laid out this huge shift, Software 1.0, the explicit code.
Then 2.0, the neural net weights.
And now 3.0. Prompt-driven intelligence, LLMs as programmable neural nets. It really hammers home his point. Prompts are the new programming language.
Yeah, and the big takeaway is how this empowers so many more people. Founders, experts, creators, building with AI is becoming more accessible.
It's about using LLMs right at the core. Learning these new skills, prompting, orchestrating, iterating fast.
It's a fundamental change, really, in how we solve problems with tech.
Definitely. And maybe here's the final thought to leave everyone with, straight from Karpathy. If you're still coding like it's 2010, you're already behind.
Ooh, that's direct.
It is. So the question for you listening is, what does that really mean for your approach to solving problems, to learning, maybe even your career in a world where prompts are becoming this new frontier?
Something significant to chew on, for sure.